We don't really have a name for this yet, but I'd like to welcome you to it anyway. My name is Cassidy. I'll be playing Marcy Goodfellow, the Tiefling Rogue, in our upcoming Dungeons & Dragons session, and I have no idea what I'm doing. Anyway, welcome to our accidental podcast, which was supposed to be reference audio, but what can you do? Once I started recording, everyone was joking about this being a podcast, so I edited as if it were one. If you are wearing headphones, which you probably are, just a quick warning as we in the party have agreed that there should be some form of volume warning. There's a lot of shouting and incredibly cacophonous laughter that sounds as if everyone were leaning into the microphone. Anyway, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a stellar time within the depths of our campaign. We'll have another break an hour into the show, so grab some snacks, grab a friend, enjoy your commute or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, and let's get into some character creation.
High elf wizard. Alright, dude, imagine playing as like a high elf druid that's just like weed thing. High elf. We have it all figured out.
I don't even smoke anymore.
I know, but like, listen, you can roleplay. This is so fucking stupid. This is
And then
dumb.
I just come up, wait guys, I have a great idea. What if we like went underneath or something? Like,
Dude,
I just like come up with like these mind
I
blowing
used
ideas.
to do that shit with clown syndrome. Where literally like people would be like, alright, what do you want to do? I'd be like, so stoned, fuck man, oh shit, hell motherfucking 666 on Future Man, bro, check it out with my swag in the whole 666 420, and they would be like, shut the fuck up, don't do anything, go home. I was the most useless character. It was great. Alright, Avery, so you're dual wielding crowbar.
Crowbar. She does have a crossbow. She does have a crossbow.
Yes.
I'm a high elf monk.
Alright, 2 high elves. Gotta keep it sexy, keep it classy.
Chilling at a table.
Oh my god.
Alright, Cassidy, you're playing as your tiefling.
I am a tiefling rogue, and I am
Alright.
chaotic good. My name is Marcy Goodfellow, and I'm...
Oh shit, I forgot to mention my name. My name is Lilith, and I am also chaotic good.
Alright, 2 chaotic goods? Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, you're selfish.
Are you just naming the...
For him.
And the
Yeah.
tieflings are basically like demons.
Oh, because I didn't know what the
I
hell
have
that
one.
was.
Yeah.
Oh cool, I speak hell.
And the halflings are basically hobbit.
You should make a hobbit or a halfling.
Oh yeah,
Kardashian.
totally a halfling. Yeah, so I'm Abigail Mosswood. I'm a halfling herbalist who is just going around her way creating potions and alchemical components.
Alright, I take it you're good?
Yes, I am.
Somewhere on the good spectrum?
Yeah, so I would probably
Wow, we have all the good here.
Well, I should hope so. If
We need
anyone's
one
our
evil character.
I'll be that evil character.
Alright.
Yeah.
Me and you are not gonna get along.
Alright, so basically most D&D characters are split between their race, which is basically their species, and their class, which is usually how they fight in combat. Class is usually split into 2 categories, which is magic users. You can get a list of spells that depends on which specific class you want to be, and you can use them either when you're fighting or outside of combat to like solve
Are you a
puzzles,
part of this?
do things like that. There's a lot of different places where you can just get like lists of spells. And there's also fighters who can't use any magic, but they are very good at combat. Usually they get what's called feats, where you have these extra actions that you can take while you're fighting that kind of gives you the sort of advantage that magic users would usually have. Like, for example, barbarians can, like, do something called rage, where they basically become, like, super strong and, like, can move, like, attack several times each turn, just, like, stuff like that. Barbarians are very fun to play as. They're kind of overpowered.
Doom guy in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Too angry to die. Hell yeah.
So let me pull up a list of both species and classes. The species mostly speaks for itself.
Right, you said like the tiefling is like the demon or whatever.
Yes. There's also like dragonborns, which are like basically dragon furries.
You got
Oh god, I
Goliath.
almost wanted to. Oh god, that hits.
See, I was
too
thinking
close to
something like
home.
Skyrim, but okay.
Yeah,
No,
unfortunately,
mind.
it's not like Sky.
Aw.
They're
I almost
great.
said
My ex-
Skyborn. They're
It's
very
Skyborn
fun,
now.
yeah.
Skyborn.
I came up with my character name.
Alright.
Tilly Vanilla.
Yeah.
Silly. Hey, what?
I am
Today.
definitely gonna accidentally
Oh, yeah.
call your character Tilly Vanilli at least once.
Tilly
I was gonna
Vanilli.
do that, and then I was like, no, that's too. That's my nickname.
Oh yeah, so
Yep.
Yeah,
and just
so-
to quickly let you guys know, if you hear an alarm at any point, I put the alarm at like 250 so that way me and Jalen can have an appropriate exit.
okay.
Appropriate exit. Leaves.
Yep, just leave.
Alright, so for species, there's Dragonborn, Dragon Furries, Dwarves, you know what a dwarf is, Elves, you know what an elf is,
Yeah.
Gnome, you know what a gnome is, Half Elf, half human, half elf,
Right.
all sexy, Halfling, basically a hobbit, but that was probably copyrighted, half orc, half human, all sexy, Human, if you play as this, you're kind of boring, basically a demon, there's, you know what? Do you guys want to use like one of the expansion packs just for like the extra species? Because they're
I
alright.
think
Do they have constructs or a warforged yet?
I don't think.
it's not listed in that one.
I had another character if I was going to play a warforged.
I mean, if you want that, I could probably find the stats for one out there.
No,
I have a couple expansion packs in my
Alright,
D&D
there's-
Beyond app.
Other expansion packs, I guess. I don't know what to call these characters. There's Aarakocra, Bird Person, Genasi, weird
Falcon
elemental guy. You can like probably use either air, fire, like basically.
Fire, air.
What's that, like the Avatar or something?
Yeah, literally. That's what that is.
Avatar.
So you could be the Avatar.
Goliath, big boys.
You don't want to get
sorry.
invested.
It's not
It's okay.
Asimar, basically angels.
Yeah, fallen
Okay,
angels,
we got
like,
three-
Asimar.
My Juggalo character's an Asimar,
Yeah.
just because I
That's
thought it was
great.
funny.
That's great,
Three
actually.
types of Azamar. We got the righteous Azamar with wings that can deal extra damage to an attack. The edgy Azamar that can scare their opponents and grow like bones from
Yeah.
the wings. And then
Christ.
the Azamar that goes boom.
The one that
The
explodes.
one that goes boom, his sole function.
So much
I
fun.
think
Had
that
I known that
probably
existed,
use
I would have been that. But I'm
standard
That's
proud of my
hilarious, just
title.
exploding.
I don't know if you know what that is.
The one that just goes boom.
Yeah, and it's just like a list of stats that instead of rolling for all of them, because that can be kind of uneven, and you can either
Yeah.
become super overpowered.
Like my
or super
-1 over
underpowered.
here.
Oh my god.
Let's see. That's pretty much all of them.
Okay.
So
Tell
we're
me the classes then.
This is the sound.
all right.
To start off with, you're probably thinking Ranger, Fighter, Paladin, Cleric. Yeah, Ranger, Fighter, Paladin, Cleric, Rogue.
Barbarian, Bard,
got the
Druid.
monks.
Alright, hang on. Let's go through all of
If
these.
you want to look at 4E, there's other stuff as well.
Mhm.
Psionics is another interesting one. Monks. Monks are in 5E.
Underwater
I'm a
temple,
monk.
underwater monk.
With a
Defenders.
background in criminal.
Oh, there's
That
a lot
makes
of classes.
Yeah, so
You
the
wanna-
basic ones.
yeah, the basic
Barbarian. You're shirtless, you're super strong, you can't use magic, you can totally like beat people up though.
Beat the shit out
Bard.
of people.
You're a magician who gets all their power from music.
Yeah, no thank you.
Yeah,
That's the mood.
they're
I'm gonna
very
sing you
horny.
to
If
death.
someone plays as a bard, they're being horny about it, and they need to get the fuck away from here because they're very high charisma.
Hello.
Cleric, you're a magic user who has been blessed by the gods. Usually they're healers. You don't have to be one, but there's druids, which are magic users who are like super connected to the earth. They're like magical hippies. There's fighters who are just they can't use magic, but they're just general like beat 'em
They're just
up.
brawlers.
The
Yeah,
best,
pretty much.
Straight old brawl.
class in the game because they have like access to all armors, all weapons, have proficiency in pretty much all of them, get a total of 4 attacks, and with their abilities they can total out to 12 attacks, I think.
Yeah, fighters
The
are
all
super
weapons
That's
part
a
might be-
mood.
The all weapons part might be
Yeah.
tempting, but yeah.
There's monks who
Be careful
are
choosing wizards. That magic stuff can get confusing.
It might. Yeah. I was thinking that too,
but
but that
it's
might
also
not be.
very fun because that's the easiest way you can like break every single puzzle
Yes.
that the DM sets up.
Oh my god.
There's
We'll help
monks.
you if you choose that.
Okay.
Yeah. There's monks who can't use magic, but they're martial artists who are like
That's
super
me.
enlightened.
Overpowered key points, yes.
Yep.
If there's a monk subclass, that is JoJo, yes.
Mood.
That's great.
Nice.
There's paladins who are super boring. I don't really care about them. They're
Paladin.
like,
You must smite the
They're-
demons.
they're magical. They're like priests. They're like, oh,
If anyone's
I
seen
love God,
Voltron,
I'm gonna
Shiro.
kill you.
Oh yeah, you could.
Like
yeah.
battle nuns.
Okay.
There's-
Battle.
Pretty much.
Yeah, no thanks.
There's
I don't play games to be a
rangers
priest.
who like usually use like bow and arrows, stuff like that.
Oh,
I
okay.
think they're the ones who are usually like connected to animals. You can choose like an animal.
Yeah.
You can use like an animal companion that like does extra shit for you.
Oh, cool.
There's rogues who are basically like little sneaky thieves. They can't use magic, but they're good at fighting. There's sorcerer who usually through their magic users, and they have some sort of bloodline that lets them use magic. Basically all of the magic users play almost the same. The only thing that's really different, besides stats, is like where exactly their magic comes from.
Okay.
There's warlocks who they basically have these like agreements with like the gods that give them magic. There's a lot of really fun ways you can play that. Like you could have like a warlock who has like a deadbeat dad who's like a god and just like whatever, I'm not paying child support. Here's just some magic, go run with it.
You've made a pact with an elder god for your powers.
Oh my god, that actually sounds
Like-
fun. I might do that.
Yeah, or like one of my friends has a backup character who's a warlock, and their god is literally the dungeon master, who's used as like this god of probability. So he lets the dungeon master like pick all his spells that he can use and stuff. And also the dungeon master is his sugar daddy.
Oh my god.
Just,
Wait.
stuff like that.
What?
This is
Dungeons
gonna be
and
an
Dragons
off-the-rail
people.
campaign.
Literally.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then the last one is a wizard who is super intelligent. They weren't born with any magic powers, but then they were like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to college
I'm
to
just
become
gonna learn
magic.
some magic.
Yeah, and then they like go to college or whatever, and they become like super smart, and they're like, oh, I'm a huge nerd, and like all these sorcerers are like pushing me into lockers and stealing my lunch money. But
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll go with the warlock one because they sold me that, and I'll be a tiefling because you said that was a demon. So yeah.
Alright.
Alrighty then.
You're gonna want to remember this.
I'm gonna want to
the
remember
best
something.
you can.
I got bad memory. I don't know how to spell any of this.
Alright, tiefling is Tiefling, and warlock is just like the words
What?
war and then lock.
Yeah, I have no idea for a name though. I'm thinking about that.
Yeah, you can think about it as we go through.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have a name mid-session. This is my name!
This is my name, by the way.
Play it off as like you got hit in the head or something. You're
Maybe.
Like, I don't know who I am.
Wait a minute.
Just be the silent, quiet type that just takes action.
But announce your name in like the middle of a stealth portion to alert everybody.
That would be hilarious.
You get knocked on the head again, you're like, oh my god, my name is Burger King Johnson! No, I remember now.
I love it so much.
It's so fun just to make like the dumbest fucking characters you can, and then just be like, you guys have to deal with this. But, alright.
The fuck?
I forgot that there was like Rick and Morty content for Dungeons and Dragons.
What?
Yeah, there's like
way into everything.
Yeah, you can like get an
like the way
extra
you
book
said
that like
It was
introduces
like,
shit
oh,
from Rick and Morty.
getting
to
the
your
Rick and
games.
Mortiness everywhere.
See, right there.
I feel like Dungeons and Dragons is that one game where you keep adding mods to
Oh
it
my
Yes.
god.
until eventually you
Oh
no
my
longer
God.
recognize it.
Yes.
Like
Yeah,
Skyrim.
It's
Oh,
the
man.
original sandbox.
Yes.
That game is fun to
Oh,
tell.
I
though.
told my mom I would be starting playing
this mod. Go on,
You
sorry.
go first. I told my mom that I would start playing D&D, and my mom's like, people still do that, and I was like, yes, it's still popular, and my mom's like, you guys should do drugs. And
Damn.
Oh, we're getting 80s. You should
You're
do
getting permission?
no, my mom's like, you guys should have weed or shrooms, just some drugs. And I'm like,
That would increase.
Mom?
Is she
That's
supplying
not-
though?
No, playing D&D while having a bad
Right.
sounds like a literal fucking nightmare. The DM is like,
Said my mom is the
"You
plug.
get attacked by dogs."
The DM has to be sober.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah.
Just so you know, every single race has their different traits that usually gives them bonuses to certain stats. As a tiefling, you are very charismatic. You get extra intelligence. You can see in the dark without like a torch or anything.
Oh, that's cool. I have glowing eyes.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah.
Dark vision.
I would
I don't remember what
You have
mine
resistance
are.
to fire damage.
Here, let me pay attention a little
And
bit. So I
you
know.
have a cantrip called Thaumaturgy, which is a magic
Oh, yes.
spell you can use no matter what your class is. Because it's a cantrip, it doesn't cost any like spell points, which is usually a thing you have to like worry about when you're a spellcaster. And thaumaturgy basically lets you set up an illusion, like usually a sound or like a vision.
Oh, so it's like used to like trick people, like maybe lure them somewhere or something.
Like
That's
for
cool,
example,
actually.
like
Damn,
if
I
you
am a
have-
villain.
It's great. It's so dramatic. It doesn't really like do much, but like it's just fun to have.
Oh man,
Because
that sounds
everybody
fun.
knows a good villain, one of the most important qualities is presentation.
Yeah,
Ain't that the truth?
I'm gonna call myself Happy Shadow.
Here, let me give you my pen.
And for languages, you can speak Common, which is the language that everyone usually
English?
speaks in. And you also
Yeah,
have
I'm
a
just gonna
language
go with
called
English.
Infernal, which you understand because you're a
Demon
tiefling.
speech.
Oh, I
Yeah.
can speak to
Good conversations with
conversations
each
because
other.
I speak Infernal. You'll speak Infernal, she speaks Infernal.
Oh wow, look at that. That's great.
That's not gonna be good.
in a-
I'm glad
Where do I
everyone.
put-
oh, wait,
where do I
he's
put
evil, never mind.
things?
Okay, so
Right, which means you'll hear
This
me
is your
yelling at him in
alignment. If you
Infernal.
scroll
Okay,
down a
that'll
little
be
bit,
fucking.
it's already
okay.
filled in most of your stats, so you can write your languages right there.
What's the language again?
Common and Infernal.
Yeah, so
and you also get,
what we
I
can
think,
what we can do is
another
next Friday,
chosen
next
language,
session, we
maybe?
can bring
I don't really know all the languages,
I
so I'm
can
just
bring
gonna
an
have these
extra
two for
character
now.
sheet
Mhm.
for him.
All right, yeah. And
I don't have a 5e book, but that's okay.
yeah, I can probably borrow one from my DM.
if you want
Okay.
to
He also has like the
Oh.
monster manual.
I mean, if anything, I might be able to go to like
Oh,
Barnes and Noble and get
so-
a 5e.
Yeah,
I went and
Barnes and
I
Noble
went
always
to an
has like
art
the
store,
best shit
and they had
Yeah.
like
for D&D. And
I
also,
want
believe
the
it.
edible
you are a warlock,
die for
which
D&D.
means that
So that way if I get angry at my
all of
dice, I can just
your-
eat it.
now I have like a
spells
handful
are
of 8
determined by your
D20s
charisma,
and
which is
2d10s.
very good because you are a
random-
tiefling,
random
so you
stuff.
automatically have better charisma than everyone else. Let's
Perfect.
see.
We should start speaking in parcel tongues.
So, at first level, which is where you're at right now,
Oh,
you
we're gonna
have
die.
struck a bargain with an otherworldly being of your choice.
Oh, okay.
The Fiend, which is detailed at the end of the class description, or one from another source. Your choice grants you features at first level and again at some
Oh, you're
other.
telling me the choices for who to what?
Yeah.
You can basically pick like any god you want if you just want to like pick one from like Greek mythology or just make
Oh,
your
interesting.
own up.
True.
There's like a list of gods that you can pick, but like I don't know if you like really want to do that. Not because it's bad or anything, just because like
A lot of official lore.
yeah,
Mm.
there's a lot of lore.
I obey the flying spaghetti monster.
And it's
Are you-
holy meat sauce.
And let's see.
Halt!
Said, okay, pause for a minute now.
Flying meat sauce. I'm sorry.
So you can have a list of spells. This might be good to write down before
Oh.
you pick out your spells. You can have 2 cantrips, which are spells you can use at any time without worrying about anything, basically. They don't cost like a spell slot or anything. I will give you a list of spells after this, but this is
Okay.
just to know for now. And at level 1, you basically have what are called spell slots, which are more powerful spells. You start off with 2 of them, and every time you use one of them, they take up a spell slot. So at level 1, you could only cast one level 1 spell one time before you have to take a long rest, which is basically like an extended break.
Okay.
For example, when you're at 5th level, you have 2 3rd level spell slots, etc., etc. At level 1, which is where you're at right now, you can have 2 1st level spells.
Cool.
Yeah, these are all things that we'll probably get into over the coming days or weeks that
Yeah.
we can help you with during the breaks here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Break.
let's see. And then there's just a bunch of
Break.
leveling
Whoa,
stuff,
What?
which you don't need to know right
Because
now.
this is every Friday.
And then are you okay with multi-classing?
Sure,
Okay, perfect.
but preferably later.
Oh,
Like throughout the story.
yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, unless you wanna, like, I don't give a fuck. I'm pretty loose with the rules. Whatever, man. It's just about having fun.
That makes sense. I know what to start with then.
Right, so you
I
get to
want
choose
my
2
little Michael.
proficiencies, which are skills that you automatically have that, okay, so basically when you're rolling to do something, you
Yeah.
can get what's called advantage, which is you get to roll twice, and then you pick the higher number out of either of them.
On the bottom.
And I'm pretty sure a spell gives you, or a proficiency gives you advantage automatically every time you roll one of these checks. So there's things like Arcana, which is how much you know about magic. Deception, which is lying to people. History, you can do these history checks where you can see if your character knows something that you don't know about, like, the history of the area.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there's intimidation, which sounds like your kind of thing right now.
Yeah, I know, right? I got a streak going.
Yeah, which is basically like you can scare the fuck out of people, like maybe when you're fighting or something like that, or you can like bully them into doing whatever you want.
Roleplay is gonna be great.
There's investigation, where basically you can like ask the DM like basically for something you want to know, essentially. Like just like for example, if there's a puzzle, then you can roll investigation for basically a hint. There's nature, which is how much you know about nature. Like for example, like if you guys were like fucking like, I don't know, starving out in the woods and you were like, oh cool, there's berries, you would want like a nature check to be like, will these kill me if I eat them?
You'd be like, I'm hungry. Ooh, berries.
Whoopsie.
I'll eat this. Investigation. No, these aren't poisonous. Dies.
Oh my god.
Alright.
When you roll a 1.
Yeah.
No, my
I'm gonna need to rest so many
might
people.
not kill you.
There's religion, which is how much you know about different religions in the areas, so you get to pick 2 of these.
Oh, cool. Cool. Very cool.
And I'm automatically saving these for a character sheet. If you want to copy that down later on, I could send it to you.
I'm gonna go with the 2 eyes, investigation, and intimidation. I don't know.
I'm going to investigate you in a very scary fashion.
Exactly.
I'm going.
I mean, you never seen the bad cops in videos? Like, come on.
And bards are like, I'm going to investigate you in a very sexual way.
I'm gonna do. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Their name should be TSA.
Oh my. Oh my god!
I didn't know they added stuff.
Oh my god! What the hell?
Hello, I'm a bard.
That's a
I'm
thing?
TSA. Drop 'em. What?
Oh my god!
Special equipment rubber glove.
Oh my god! What the hell? Did they even have rubber gloves at the end? What the hell?
We can add some.
Oh my god! No, please!
There's special
No.
arcane
If we have a bard with investigation, walks up to someone, spread 'em. What?
Oh my god!
Natural 20.
I need to
what's
search
this?
you. I need to investigate.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good strategy. Intimidation and investigation. I'll just do what I did in Detroit Become Human. Just yell at the whole time.
Okay.
Scaring them
Every
in.
single time
Yep.
anyone here rolls for investigation, you have to go, oh, well, what's this?
What? Oh no!
Notices the secret to your puzzle. Oh.
All right.
Oh god. This is a
Oh
roller
god, we're
coaster.
gonna have a cracked out D&D recording.
Oh, Jesus.
We already do. We already do.
This is, I guarantee, prime podcast material.
Yeah.
Or if, hello, or if, out of curiosity, are you interested in joining? Or, like, what do you want to sit in on if you,
Are you
like,
just gonna spectate, or are you
I
just
might just spectate, but I also might go.
I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna use it.
Good.
all right.
We can get started.
I feel like we should be called D&D Exposed.
Oh, my
Dungeons and Dragons and Drivers and Dine-Ins. Oh, I want to play as Guy Fieri now.
I
He can be a
can't.
tiefling because then he has fire resistance to really spicy foods.
Yeah. You have to eat sloppily.
Oh my god, you have to do like those fucking horrible ASMR videos where it's just like mouth noises.
Today
Well,
we've got
no, leans into mic on laptop. Right. Shit.
Everyone be quiet. Let me take out the knife, Mike.
Sorry, I got a hair in my mouth. Oh, that hurts my frosted tips. Oh my god. Guy Fieri would be able to I almost said harness the powers of both fire and ice, spicy foods, and frosted tips. He's got it all. He's the fucking Avatar.
Oh, no. Jesus, what have we
Control
done?
all 4 elements of flavor.
Earth is like salt because it's just rocks.
And then water is like soup broth.
Water is like, I guess,
Broth.
liquid. God, water's a boring one. It's just kind of like, I don't know, just do whatever with liquid.
Maple
Whatever.
syrup.
I'm just saying, if you guys wind up roleplaying as the stupidest character as possible, like, I will absolutely put in traps that are just, like, a, like, bottle of maple syrup in the middle of the dungeon, and you all have to, like, roll to see if you're, like, smart enough not just to, like, chug it and take poison damage, because you just chugged a fucking bottle of maple syrup.
So it's just a mimic.
Oh, dude, I hate it when, like, you're out at the club, and, you see a hot girl, you take her home, and it turns out she's a mimic, and then she eats you.
Oh, what?
Man, that's a mood. That's a mood in
Wow,
real
that's a
life
great
and
thing to
D&D.
walk in on.
Alright, so here are some things you need to know.
At least I know not to go to any
So
clubs.
you have 6 stats. We're doing a standard array, so
Cool.
basically you have numbers that you already have to pick from, but
Cool.
these determine how well you're able to do different things. So there's strength, which is like strength.
Right, like
there's-
physical strength.
Mm-hmm.
I
There's
am
dexterity,
really strong.
which is like how fast you are, and like
Okay.
how like just nimble you are, like a little fucking like Jack be nimble, Jack be quick motherfucker. There's constitution, which is defense. There's intelligence, which is how book smart you are.
Well, that's about
Great
to be
at
low.
defense.
That's
There's-
about to be.
There's wisdom, which is how street smart you are.
Ooh, I got good wisdom.
And there's charisma, which is how well you can kind of like manipulate other people.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fairly high.
Hell yeah. I mean, and you already have the +2.
Oh yeah.
Just be a charisma.
Oh, wow.
gonna
We're
be
gonna
a-
have a lot of charisma because
I'm
my
gonna be a
charisma's
charisma bum.
14 plus 2.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people
This
like
is gonna be very
kind of take
interesting.
charisma to
This
be
is-
like basically how sexy you are. Like people
This is
only
gonna be
use
a
like
group.
basically use it when they're like fucking around. They'll be like, oh, I roll to seduce the dragon or whatever the fuck. But like it could also be like just like it can be used for a lot of things. It's basically just how good of a people person you are. Don't fall into that trap of just thinking that, oh, I'm a charismatic person, so that means that obviously I'm the hottest person in the room. But
I'm gonna have to neglect that
But
rule
Well-
and go
you
for it.
can, basically select which number you want. You can have one of each number
Okay.
in every category. You don't have to worry about that because I think it automatically like gets
Like
rid
evens
of...
out. Or something?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
Unless you go old school and manually roll.
Oh my god.
That's what I did with mine.
That's
Literally.
so good.
I manually rolled for my first one, and I accidentally made a character that was so fucking overpowered. The DM like was literally just like, you have to cut your stats in half. I'm not letting this happen.
My cousin currently has a paladin that has a -4 to his constitution.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
That motherfucker's gonna die if he gets sick.
He has fucking brittle bone disease.
Essentially.
You just made a character with fibromyalgia.
That's why he's a paladin. He can heal himself.
That seems fair.
Ankles.
Alright, there
I
you
have
go.
strength 11, dexterity 8, constitution 13, intelligence 8, wisdom 11, and
Good
charisma
lord.
4.
Christ almighty.
The quiet. Oh god.
Yeah,
Alright.
we'll definitely help you when it comes to picking your spells and spell slots.
Okay,
That can get
thanks.
confusing.
Yeah.
I already see that now.
Yeah, it's very intimidating to get into. There's just like so much stuff. Like I remember when I first started, it was like I don't know what any of this is. I feel so goddamn stupid.
And now you're a pro.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I've been playing for like 3 years.
Oh,
Really?
see, that's
Yeah.
why.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
Yeah, we
Alright.
started a D&D club at like my high school. Wait, so it had to have been like 4 years since I've been here for 3 years. Either way, I've been playing with the same group since then, but not the same like sessions. So for backgrounds, this mostly isn't really stuff that matters very much. But like you can pick a background, which is like I don't really think it affects that much, except it might give you advantage on a few things. There's like
Oh, cool.
Acolyte, which is basically like the gifted kid.
I thought the backgrounds were like more flavor.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Like they don't really matter.
So you
very
said
much.
like the acolyte is like the gifted kid?
Yeah, like you're basically
Gifted in what way?
like you're born.
You know, like main character, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I thought at least.
Sorry.
You guys, why is everything gotta be sexual with you
I'm
guys?
gifted.
This is D&D. Everything is sexual.
There's like a criminal, which is
I'm-
a criminal.
I'm criminal.
Okay.
I'm a
there-
criminal monk, so I have extra stealth.
Nice.
Jesus.
Oh,
But
God.
I have a liar, so I'm gonna have to roll.
Oh my
But
god.
there's folk hero, which is basically you were basically like the fucking like Charlemagne or some shit. Where back at home you like did a bunch of cool shit, and everyone was like, "You're the best person around."
Okay.
There
You're a famous
is-
celebrity from a third world country.
Right.
There's Haunted One. I don't know what that is actually. I've never
I
seen
mean
that
neither.
before.
I was thinking about that one, but I don't know what it is, so I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's a
Oh.
haunted one. Who's like
What is?
It's basically like you accidentally
Are
do
you like
something.
disturbed or something?
Yeah, you accidentally do something and you're like.
Oh, you're like a mad scientist.
Kind of.
Awesome.
I'm gonna
here,
have
I can
to
pull up my
heal
character
all of
sheet.
them.
Why is it called Hunt? Oh, sorry, yeah.
Because
Oh,
you're
that's
haunted
cool.
by your sins.
I guess.
There's noble, which is basically you're like a prince or princess, whatever, or like you could be a duke. I don't know. Do
my
whatever.
haunted one.
There's a sage, which is you're super wise, and what's that last one?
Soldier.
Soldier.
Hmm.
We all know what a soldier is.
I'm
Okay.
either gonna be a
So, like-
criminal or a noble. I don't know.
I mean, hey,
Haunted
let's be
one.
real. Nobles are already criminals because they're like stealing taxes and shit.
Then I'll be a noble just to flex.
Alright.
I'm a noble to flex. I'm richer than everyone
Yep.
here.
I am the new Prince of Darkness. There it is.
This is gonna be amazing.
So, because you're a noble, you can be proficient. Basically, you have advantage on using one of these tools, which is basically a different game set. That probably isn't really going to affect very much unless I'm suddenly like, you know what? Whatever, I don't care. You guys can all play chess together.
I don't know. So what do we do? Just like the dice?
Yeah,
Would
you
you like
can
to fight
pick
for your
anyone you
life?
want.
Yeah,
Like
let's play
dice
again
set
with
would be
chess.
like if you were playing like a game in the game that uses dice, like you're gambling or whatever, you would get advantage on that. Dragon chess is just fantasy chess. Playing cards is playing cards.
Hearthstone.
3 Dragon Ante, I don't know what the fuck that
That
is.
sounds like Texas Hold'em. No.
Alright, I'll just do simple. I'll just dice set.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably not gonna come up.
I would have done cards.
And you can choose
Yeah, 'cause I
another
would like a card.
language,
You
which
wanna
all of these are usually just specific to certain races.
Where's English?
Well, that's common.
Oh, that's
I
common?
speak that.
God,
yeah.
there's a lot of them.
I know, right?
You should
Yeah.
choose Elvish
And-
so we could argue in Elvish.
Elvish,
basically,
switch
like-
to Infernal, argue in Infernal.
Ooh, they got what's that Dragon? So you could speak
Oh,
to
Draconic,
dragons.
Yeah, Draconic.
Oh,
Fus
cool.
Roda.
Fus Roda? I don't know. I might speak to dragons.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
These don't really affect very much. Usually these would be
I like
used if, like, for example, you were breaking into, like, I don't know, a fucking, like, city full of dragons and all of them were speaking their dumb dragon language. Then it would be good to have, like, one person who's like, I know what you guys are saying.
That would be good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might do the dragon one.
And, like, most of these are just, like,
And most of these are like,
the languages that are automatically spoken by different races. Like, for
Okay.
example, like, Celestial is what every, like, Asimar already knows.
Angel speak.
angel
Yeah.
speak. Oh, you know what? Maybe I
I
should
can
choose
speak
that
to the
instead.
gods.
Ew.
Yep.
Maybe, yeah, that sounds cooler. I
A
think I'll
demon who
choose
can
that.
speak to the gods.
Alright.
That's a
That's gonna be.
Yeah.
Gonna be good.
That's gonna be cool.
It was sparkles when you said that. What was it?
And because you're a noble, you have what's called position of privilege.
Oh.
Thanks to your noble birth, people are inclined to think the best of you. You are welcome in high society, and people assume you have the right to be wherever you are.
We gotta keep an eye on this guy.
Don't worry, I'm chaotic good, and one thing I am is chaotic, and I will keep you in place.
The common folk make every effort
guess
to
that's wrong,
accommodate
never
you and
reach full
avoid your
evil.
displeasure.
You
Oh
might
my
get killed by me.
And other people.
Wait, say that last part
I might
again?
have to res you a couple of
The
times.
common folk make every effort to accommodate you and avoid your displeasure, and other people of high birth treat you as a member of the same social sphere. You can secure an audience with a noble leader if you want
cool.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, on the bright side, before you try to kill me, I could get us into some really high security places.
to.
You and my crowbars are gonna become best friends.
Alright.
I'll make sure to buy more healing
And-
potions.
You're gonna like die in every like freaking D&D
Because
session.
literally, you can use your
Just-
status to do whatever you please. Don't oppress
That's
people.
kind of the
No, that's just what real people
Just
do.
send
Exactly.
me, just send me all the
I know.
diamonds.
So there's also, this is mostly just like a character
He's
thing.
evil.
There's something
And
called an
evil.
alignment.
You oppress
You can be
people.
evil,
He goes
good, or
against my
neutral.
laws.
Usually good means you care about other people. Neutral means it kind of varies.
What's chaotic good?
Alright,
That's
so,
me.
okay,
I can explain that.
So,
okay, so, oh, do you want to explain?
yeah, so real quick, there's gonna be like 3 slots, so there's gonna be chaotic, lawful, and neutral.
Okay.
And within those, there's also gonna be good and evil variants.
Right.
Chaotic means you're like kind of like the Joker in a way, where you just do whatever you feel like, very emotional, and you just cause chaos. Lawful means you follow the law to the letter, or as close as you can to the letter. And neutral is you're pretty much in between. You can fuck around with people,
There
or
we
you can
go.
follow the rules. As for good and evil, it's good and evil.
And then neutral is just whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, true neutral is you're pretty much, you
Just
can
do whatever the hell you
Lame.
want. Yeah.
Lame.
Well, screw lawful. But
Evil.
I don't know. I might do.
Like, lawful evil would be like a manipulator,
Like
while
someone-
chaotic evil would be a torturer.
And like lawful evil would be someone who like knows all the laws and like basically a police officer. Like
Police officer.
He's a fed.
You can use the law to fuck people over as much as you want. Like they might be, for example, like an evil king who like writes in like laws to like fuck other people over, things like that.
Okay.
And then chaotic evil would just be like, I'm a criminal, I don't give a
Straight
shit,
up
I'm gonna
criminal.
kill everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
And I am chaotic good,
I
which
think-
means I believe everybody has a right to freedom and to live their own life, and
Okay.
I'm filled with kindness, but I will break the law to do it.
All right.
Like, I feel like one of the ways I've seen it broken down is like chaotic good is like they see a like stray kitten on the street and they're like, this is an injustice that this kitten does not have an owner. I'm gonna tear down the entire fucking system to like make sure
Yes.
someone takes care of this goddamn
Yeah.
thing. Everything sucks. I will do whatever I can.
I think I might be chaotic good then.
All right.
Yeah.
Where like neutral good would be like they
Great.
see like the stray kitten on the street and they're like, oh man, that sucks. Someone should do something about that. And then they kind of walk away, but like they feel bad about it. And then like lawful good is like, I'm going to call the police to get someone to take care of this fucking cat.
Yeah, you go through the proper channels.
Yeah.
Me, I am the channel.
Yeah. See, that's why I'm gonna use my
Oh, there's a
noble
lot
privilege.
of cases. We are going to wreak havoc every place we come across.
Oh yeah,
I
we
cause
are.
problems on purpose.
I cause problems.
To
on
help
purpose.
And then
people.
for lifestyle, it basically only chooses how much money you start off with.
Oh wow.
There's like wretched, which is like you're a criminal. There's squalid, which is you're homeless. You're poor. You're modest,
Yep,
middle
I'll be
class.
poor.
Maybe I should be wealthy so I could get drunk in every session.
Yeah, and then actually maybe you might want to be aristocratic because that basically just means that you're royalty. You're like the
That would make
top
more
1%.
sense, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I should just be aristocratic. Then.
Yeah, you can be either one.
Yeah.
2 silver
Yeah, I'll be
pieces
aristocratic then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the list.
Well, you just want to be like the brokest.
Yeah.
I am the broker, but there's a reason.
That's
I mean, I might need it to buy all those healing potions. So.
My character
I don't keep
is
dying.
a born gambler who can't resist taking a risk for a potential payoff, but
Love it.
they spend their ill-gotten gains faster than they can bring them in. So they're basically always broke, even though they have money.
No.
Okay, I'll just like toss you a coin or two.
Pickpocket you and use it to buy
Exactly.
You're literally like, my gov, me mom and pa are dead. Be a good egg and give me a few quid.
I like yours. I'll just pickpocket you.
Oh my
you'll always have cash.
Everyone's about to
That's a
pickpocket
mood.
me
I'm
in
gonna
this
pickpocket
session.
you and then give it to people.
Alright,
I know.
I think we'd be lawful and good.
alright.
Only to balance out this insanity.
Oh yeah, because I'm practically evil.
Chaotic.
Oh, you're chaotic too, right?
We're all,
Oh wow.
This entire half of the table is chaotic good.
Oh god. This
Hopefully
team's about to split.
these two bring in some.
About to be a civil war within this group. Right? I could just imagine we end up conspiring against the rest of the group.
So,
No.
you can pick a
Because we can only speak to each other.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
No. No. We're fucked.
Because we all speak infernal.
Oh my god. I like how I was the only one that thought about it.
How it's cool. If you guys want to speak infernal to each other, you have to be like, oh. Like demon noises.
Sure, I'm down for that. Sure, I'm down for that. I don't care. I'll still do it.
Noises.
Sound like you're
I'll still
fucking
do
like,
it.
oh god, what was it? That was like, was it modems? What the fuck was it in the 90s? Every time you like wanted to use the
Oh,
internet, you'd
yeah,
like,
the
yeah,
AOL.
dial-up. There we go.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
This sounds like a dialogue.
Oh wait, that's not
Hold on, I
bad.
have the dial-up sound button on my phone.
Oh my god. Hang on, early.
Oh, I have D&D sounds.
Oh, that's
Oh,
great. I
yes.
love it. Oh man.
Conspires.
Oh man,
You don't have to worry about
this
that.
sounds
I'll
so
bring
freaking
a
fun.
switch.
wipe.
We should so conspire to tear down a very bad government.
Yeah.
Outside of the group, just
This is gonna be insane.
leave us alone for 2 seconds.
This looks fun.
Topples entire kingdom.
I feel like Infernal is just like the noises that like Vinny from Vine Sauce makes whenever he gets frustrated. Like, hang on. Every once in a while he. Oh my God, where is it? Hang on.
So the Wilhelm
We are
scream.
going
Yeah.
to die.
I just realized we've accidentally made it so that the 3 chaotic people can whisper.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, right. I just realized.
If like 2 of us are stuck in a room together with an enemy, we could just be like, hey, let's make up a plan.
You're right.
That involves no one else. Just us. Actually, no, I can't do
I am
that
not
because
going
I
to
have a
rest.
conscience.
Can't you use message?
I can use
Oh
message.
no!
I can use message.
No.
So I can talk whenever and wherever.
You're gonna hear voices in your head. That's gonna be her.
Hello. I am your conscience, and today on what we will be doing.
I can't understand the screeching.
Yeah, I'd like to think that my character has a fading conscience.
No.
Yeah.
Alright, back to character creation after all of that. You can pick like a few items if you want. They're just kind of like in your inventory. They're mostly things that you can't really do much with, like a bagpipe.
You can do a lot with a bagpipe.
Okay,
That's all roll for.
fair. But
Yeah, I can't think of any. I can't think of much, but
yeah, there's a list of shit. Like you can have like a blanket. You can have
just have a little
like,
blankie.
You can have like a bomb. Oh, you can have a bomb if you want.
I thought you said.
May I?
Oh, you can totally have a bomb. Hang on.
I'll gladly do that. You steal the
Bombs are high elf exclusive because they're high elves.
Okay. It took me a minute, but I got it.
I run emergency
We were
grenade.
talking about vases, and like my 2 friends are like complete stoners, and one of them was like, "What's a vase?" And he was like, "It's basically a bong you don't smoke out of."
Damn. I love that explanation.
What's a vase?
good.
A bong you don't
It's
smoke out of.
It's a bong you don't smoke out.
You can add a camel to your inventory on this?
How does that even work? You just stuff.
I come from the far.
Pocket camel.
Right, pocket camel. Like what the hell?
No.
You said, let me just get my camel out of my pocket for a second.
Crossing is keeping
Right.
Whenever
Exactly.
you take the camel out but don't deploy it, it's just like a little leaf.
That's like legit the first thing I'm thinking about. Like, what is this, Animal Crossing now?
Deploy camel.
Just keep a
throw
house
leaf.
inside your pocket for a
Yeah.
second.
Imagine if in Animal Crossing you just pocket the villagers. Be like, I'm taking you somewhere else.
Goodbye.
Kidnapping.
New one, me.
Oh my. I wonder if that's a mod. Yeah.
You're done with your character. That's everything.
Okay, cool.
Or not.
Yep.
Alright, does everyone have their character done? But you don't have it done.
Yeah, so what we're probably gonna do is gonna be
Alright.
just basically be playable NPCs until we get our stats next session.
Alright,
Yeah.
that's great because I don't have the monster
I'm not
manual
gonna be
with me, so I
attacking
can't set up a
anyone.
encounter.
Ah,
Unless
perfect.
I'm like just bullshitting it. I'm like, I don't know, there's like a fucking like dog. It's not doing anything, it's just hanging out, but like you guys can do whatever. That's a
It
dog.
has
I
10
don't
hit
care.
points and an AC of 20. Good luck.
This is the dog, he's unkillable. You guys can try to kill the dog if you want, but he is uncrushable.
That would be fun, actually. Try to kill an unkillable dog.
You'd be bludgeoned for even thinking about killing it.
I guess you got a good point. I
Okay,
should
I
And
will-
try.
and then we find out later in the campaign that the dog was the villain all along.
That
Or it's like
I shouldn't
the
try to do
dog
it
is
unless
like
I'm.
the solution to a puzzle.
It'd be hilarious.
How
Nah,
is
you're right,
your
though.
handling for like wizards usually?
Unless you have like a background that deals with animals, it's
You're a
not really
vegan
that
wizard.
good. Listen, the animals can't tell if you're a vegan or not. They
They can smell the meat not perspiring off your skin.
yeah, they look at you and they're like,
Like-
oh no, you're
They're like,
standing
that
on 2
person-
legs. and
Like,
you've
I
got
don't know, you
missing
smell
eyes."
kinda like beef.
But if like there's like I don't know, a fucking bugbear or something, and you're like, I want to hug it, then I'm not gonna stop you. I will just shake my head.
It's like-
Strongly
that's good.
advise against.
Strongly, like, shake my head against it.
Like my favorite thing about playing D&D is if you like say that you want to do something
I'm
and the DM is
almost
like,
out.
are you sure? And it's like,
It's foreshadowing that you shouldn't.
I
Right.
Does it anyway.
Are you sure about that? Maybe. Actually, yes.
Alright.
All right, I will be
2
right
of
back
those
in a
are for me
second,
and 2
and then
of
we
those are for
can
you.
start a little bit of exposition and have a little
Hey.
fun with it.
I can't wait to hear this intro long.
And in the meantime,
Be like,
we
and
can
the
figure
new
out our
episode.
character voices.
You guys can have a halftime show.
Cool, right?
I think it'd be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh
fun.
god, figuring out character voices, that's weird.
You know, I'm already
because I'm not
like.
sure what I want to do for mine.
Also, character voices are not necessary if you don't want to do them. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
okay,
be one
cool.
of those DMs who's like,
Get into
Do the damn,
character.
get it, a
well, if you
character,
try to say
you
something
piece
not
of
in your
crap.
character voice, I'm gonna be like, what? Who said that? Alright.
Said,
I just
I don't
feel
know
like
who
character
said that
voices
because
are
it's
more
not a
fun.
character.
I don't know who said that
Sorry,
because
who's talking?
Exactly.
I think it's the wind.
But basically, the entire reason I wanted to get into D&D is because if you're a DM, you can do all these kinds of voices. And since my character is very good at disguises, I can do all sorts of voices anyway.
I really like the character writing aspect. It's interesting.
I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what kind of voice I want for my character.
I already have
I
an
want
idea of what my
something
character would
peaceful.
look like. He's
I
like,
kind of want like
just,
an indie like ukulele girl voice, like.
Guess I'll know.
I don't know if I
Basically
want to do a
Brian's
voice. I
like-
might do
That's
something.
always-
I'll
it's
either
always
just
the
use my
biggest.
regular voice or I'll use one
Yeah.
of my evil voice.
Because I could do the British, but the issue is with when I do my British accent, I have this accident where
Oh yeah.
I get stuck in it, and like I can't come out of it. Like I don't know. I get stuck in my accents. Like hardcore stuck. If I start a British
Damn.
accent, then I will leave here still
She really
in
gets
accent.
into character.
I will spend the rest of this weekend in a British accident and then come accident.
British
Accent. A British accident.
Somebody threw crumpets at me.
I guess that's.
So there's an accident.
Oh my god.
I'm
So
allowed
what's
to
a
say
Brit-
that I have
it's
British
a-
friends.
A British accident.
No, because if I do a British accent, I'll get stuck in it, and then I'll be that way for the entire weekend, and then I'll have to shut up on Monday to come back to my normal voice.
Alright, are you guys ready to
I mean,
start?
I could do the Pharaoh's
I kind of want
voice
a
from the
calm
Yu-Gi-Oh!
voice
Bridge
though,
series. So.
something that doesn't say I will bludgeon you with the crowbar.
This is good. This shall be fun.
I want like a cliche mom voice, like a really like nice mom
Sound
voice.
like a fucking like anime girl. Be like,
Oh no, no,
I
please
can't I'll
don't.
tear up
Oh,
my
wow,
vocal
this is your
cords.
crowbar. What's this?
Beats.
That would be hilarious when she's attacking them.
dude, okay.
Or you could go the dog
In the
route.
session I'm playing right now, my first character was this dragonborn wizard.
Dragonborn.
But, her entire thing was that she worshipped the moon goddess of love and justice, and every time she started a battle, she would like cast mage armor, and my DM allowed me to add the flavor text that said magical girl transformation, and she's basically Sailor Moon.
I was like, did you
That's
just
great.
describe
I love-
Sailor Moon?
That's great.
Except like I named the goddess like Saramin, so like no one realized until like 2 sessions in. They were like,
Wait a
"What's wrong
minute.
with you?
Everything.
You fucking weeaboo! Get out of here! Die!"
Wait, are we gonna like describe our characters just in case
I
people
actually
listen to this
had
and be
like an
I'm
idea.
a fan of art of this right now.
I actually had an idea of what my character would look
Yeah,
like.
I got an idea of my.
I would like to
Alright.
describe the way my character looks because
So,
it's
yeah.
the only
If you guys
time.
want to like draw it, then like there's nothing wrong with that. Actually,
The only time
I wanna
can
take
ever
my
have
time to
enough
draw
hair to
mine.
have
Alright,
afro puffs.
So actually, since I'm already doing this for the campaign I'm in, I actually I'm probably gonna have some extra shrinky dink lying around, and if we get like a game board set up, that's basically just like a
Oh
grid
man, this is
that you can write on and like erase.
Mhm.
Usually it's very useful if you're like using combat. You can see like how long you can like travel at a distance and see where all the characters are. But maybe it would be fun to like you can buy these little plastic stands that you can like just like put shit in for like different characters. And since I'm already making I'm doing drawings of my characters and this has gotten very convoluted and very incomprehensible.
all that continuity.
Welcome to D&D.
It gets very.
Basically, I'm making shrinky-dink figures of all of my characters in the other session I'm in, and if you guys want, I can probably bring in the extra shrinky-dink, and we can make little, like, plastic cutouts of our characters.
We even have a microwave.
That'd be.
Yeah!
Oh my god.
We can do this.
This group is well prepared.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, for a group of people who have experience and don't have experience.
Yeah, I know, right?
Alright.
I mean, well, I do write characters. I just never played with D&D.
Mhm.
Don't
Actually,
worry.
this will be really good for learning how to write and portray characters.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm
Yeah,
excited.
it's like, I don't know, Like, personally, I feel like D&D is really fun because it's kind of like role-playing, except somehow less nerdy. And also, like, there's all...
I thought it was the other way around, but yeah.
Once upon a time, it was really nerdy, but now it's cool.
Oh, okay. It's cool now.
No, it's still nerdy. It's just cool
Nerdy.
and nerdy.
Yeah.
It's like
You guys are
cool
confusing
nerdy
me.
the way that like MCU movies are.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Or like everyone's
Cool
like,
nerdy.
that's a nerd thing, or like that's stereotypically a nerd thing, but everyone's doing it now. Like Kim plays D&D, and she does not look like someone who plays D&D. Like
Well,
you're
I
not
play-
like a super huge nerd.
Like the people
Like-
I play with aren't like really nerdy. It's kind of just
Yeah.
Nerds have learned how to blend in with
so
normal
it's not really
people.
like, you know, the stereotypical like 80s nerd thing where like
What's like?
Yeah, oh yeah,
What's my
definitely.
like social persona like to you?
I feel like you're very chill. Like
But like if you just saw me and you looked at me, would you be like, oh, she's like bitch? I don't know.
I feel like
She thinks she's so smart.
I kind of get stoner vibes from you, but like
Really?
functional stoner.
Functional stoner vibe.
Yeah.
That's a new one for me.
Listen, you can be a high functioning stoner, or you can be a low functioning stoner.
I believe it. I
Instead of
just.
a functional alcoholic, there's functional.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
If this winds up becoming like a longer thing, then like in the campaign that I'm in right now, sorry I keep going back to that and like comparing it, but it's kind of
Cool.
what I know. But like our DM actually set up this like hub where we can like switch out characters. So if we want, we can have like multiple characters.
Hey.
And the hub is specifically a circus because it was originally just like a pretty straightforward campaign, but
Okay.
my friend is playing as a clown. And he was very insistent that like he kept trying to derail the campaign to go back to the circus.
Oh my god, of course.
And eventually the DM was like, fine, the circus is underground. It's in the middle of this fucking cavern. Are you happy? And we were like, yes. And now we have a bunch of characters who are like all members of the circus. That's where my juggalo came
Oh, I was
from.
gonna say, like, is every D&D session you play in, like, does there have to be a clown? Is it, like,
That your thing?
comedic relief?
That's the fast travel
We
point.
also need somewhere where we can buy supplies occasionally.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh yeah.
There's a fire
I
place,
want it
right?
to be a seedy
Like-
tavern.
Down the street from where I live.
Wait,
I need it to be a seedy tavern. Just
Cool.
Well, I know to set up my apothecary.
Actually, if you guys want, I can like. Okay, actually, we can figure this one out after the session starts. Is everyone ready?
Yeah.
Hey, it's me again. I just wanted to say again, thanks for listening, and also we do have a small commercial, believe it or not. No sponsors, as we haven't monetized anything, but the music at the beginning, middle, and end of the show were all made by the incredible Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com. That's INCOMPETECH.com, and is licensed under the Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0. The full source is listed in the description attached to the video. He has dozens of tracks on his site, most of which he writes himself, and he makes them so anyone can use them with the proper credit. The instructions are listed on his FAQ, so don't forget to read them before using his music. If you have something you're making for sale and purchase and you want to use his music for your product, you also have to download the proper license along with the track you want to use. He also offers the option to commission him if you're looking for a specific song to hit that one specific mood, and has the option to donate listed on his page, which is also linked in the description. It's a really great site, and listed as well are other great sites you can use for all your music needs. It's just about that time, so I think I'll hand it back over to the rest of the podcast. And again, thank you for listening. Don't forget to look both ways when crossing the street. Tip your waitress. She might remember you one day when she becomes your doctor or something. And like, comment, and subscribe so we know that you also enjoy the oxygen we're expelling to create this content. See you next week. We record every Friday and post every Wednesday, I think. I don't know. This is only our first recording. We'll see what happens. Bye!
we've gotten past the the prologue.
The prologue, intrologue, with interlude. Yeah. Same. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we all
Yeah.
start out in the middle of a village. I was originally going to be like, this does not start at a tavern. I'm not fucking doing this. But you know what? You guys are in the tavern. Whatever. Who cares?
Oh, okay.
So we're freeballing it now.
Freeballing it now.
So You are all in the tavern. You guys can be doing whatever you want when suddenly a siren sounds, which usually is, so the town you're in has a series of sirens that go off whenever an emergency is happening, or every once in a while there's emergency town meetings. I don't know if any of you live in this town, or if you're just passing through. Either way.
I live here.
All right. So
Okay.
either way, if you don't live here, then you see everyone going to the town center. So you're all heading towards there. And when you get there, there is a little podium, and everyone's kind of like surrounding it, trying to see what's going on. You probably hear other people like mumbling, like, what the fuck's happening? Like, what's going on? When you see a little gnome struggling to crawl up the podium. Someone has stolen his little step stool, so he cannot get up there.
Damn.
So he's kind of clamoring for it. He's like trying to scramble up with his little paws.
Oh man, I'm thinking about Joker now.
People are like, a half elf like feels bad for him and like lifts him up and lets him stand on the podium.
Oh, okay.
So the gnome gets on top of the podium. Everyone sees him standing there and they go quiet. And the gnome says, "Another one of our children." Okay, no, that's not a good gnome voice. That's not
No, that's a beautiful gnome. Another one of our children.
Another one of our
children is vanished!
Oh my god.
I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be laughing at this.
This is amazing.
Can his beard be so
Okay.
practically stepping on it when he walks, please?
Yes,
Okay.
the beard is trailing off of the podium and touching the ground. It's super dirty towards the bottom.
Dude is tripping on his own beard.
Like, if someone like starts acting like unruly in the crowd, he like fucking uses it like a lasso.
Oh my god.
No, like a whip.
It's-
Crowd control.
Yep. Just whipping people with his beard.
So this elderly fucking gnome, he's on top of the podium and he says, "Another one of our children has been stolen by the witch." So everyone's kind of like looking at each other like, I feel like everyone who is normally a member of the town is like rolling their eyes. So they're like, "This again? Are you kidding me?" And then like everyone who's not a member, I mean everyone looks kind of concerned about this.
Yeah.
But everyone who is like just kind of like passing through, since this is not really a port town, but there's a lot of like business here, they're probably like looking at each other like, "What? Like, what's going on?"
Children go missing?
So as soon as he announces that, I feel like some of the people start like filtering out. They're like, "Oh,
It's
Jesus
just-
Christ." And some of you might notice that near the front of the crowd, there's a woman who is like crying. She appears to be a middle-aged human. You assume that this may be the parent of the child that has gone missing.
Oh wow.
So the entire scene is very sad. At this point, the gnome announces, I'm not doing that fucking voice again.
Yeah.
The gnome announces
Let that
that
be a one.
the town has basically crowdfunded a bounty for the witch who lives in the middle of the forest. He's basically trying to see if this, if he can form an adventuring party that will go out into the forest and kill this witch and hopefully save any of the children who have been stolen by her. Does anyone want to roll, like, not necessarily an insight check, well, maybe a history check, to see, I would give you advantage on this since you live here.
Oh yeah, that's right, you do.
Yes, I
The rest
do.
of us are just passerby.
Yeah, but you can still roll, because you would probably, like, hear, like, rumors of, like, what's going on in the town. You don't have to roll for this if you don't want to.
I want
If you
to.
do, then I guess that would be a d20.
Yeah.
Which is this guy?
Yes. It's the big boy, the roundest boy.
The big boy. I was rolling because I live here. Bye.
Oh, 19. You're probably not going to get better than that unless you roll a natty.
Go ahead and roll
I
a
got a
natty.
5.
Also, don't know if you know this part, but basically whenever you're rolling a d20, if you roll a 1, that's called a critical fail, and it
Bad
means that
stuff
you
happens.
fuck up in the worst way possible, and you don't get to add any
Probably
other
die.
stats to that. You don't get to, like, re-roll. It basically means you fucked up in the worst way possible, and you have to live with it. There's no way to improve your circumstances.
Christ, that could really
Somebody
screw you
else
over.
If you
Yeah.
roll a 20, that's called a natural 20. It means that you succeed not only in what you wanted to do, but you do it in the coolest way possible. Usually you could get like an extra bonus, or
Right.
like you can decide what happens next. Anyways, you rolled a 19. Do you want to roll again and just try to see if you get a natty 20?
No.
Alright, so
I'm close enough.
That's close to fuck enough for my first roll.
And you have advantage, so even if you roll lower than a 19, you still get the 19.
Yeah.
Ooh.
If you want. I mean, you don't have to. Like,
I forgot what my
peer
advantage
pressure.
was.
Peer pressure.
Just peer pressure.
I know,
Oh.
20.
Oh, that's a 10.
Oh.
Well, you still got the 19.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah, you know that around 2 or 3 months, a child from the village goes missing. It's a very large town, so it's not like... I mean, it's still a big deal. People are still kind of like...
like, oh god, the children.
But, like, at the same time, like, I feel like a lot of the people who don't, like, personally know the children going missing are probably like, oh, that sucks. Kind of like how, you know how, like, sometimes you see in the news that, like, some fucked up
Yeah, I
thing
know
is
what you
going on,
mean.
and you're like, oh, that's sad, and then you just
Or
move
like
on.
in Derry,
Yeah, and you move on with your life.
The movie people are just like putting posters over posters because children go missing so often.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and nobody really seems
This
to
actually
care.
plays into what my bond is, so...
Ooh. So, are we gonna get to know that, or are you just gonna bring that up later?
Oh.
Bring it later.
Actually, I'll bring it up now.
Alright.
Oh, okay.
So my bond is
Character development.
I made a mistake and someone that I love died.
Oh.
And my mistake being in my chaotic good ways, I accidentally helped a particular person start maybe stealing children. And it
Right.
ended up
Oh no.
with someone I watched out for dying. And so I promised that I would always double check to see who I'm working
Okay.
for and I won't haphazardly take jobs. And then my second promise was that I will never let a child suffer injustice.
Alright. Well,
Okay,
this
character
has-
development.
Yeah, this is actually become like the
Are you
perfect
saying-
setting for you.
Yeah, I know.
You know something.
Oh, you're saying
Well,
you know
did you
something.
say that out loud? That like were you in the middle
Right,
of
did you say that out loud?
A child has gone missing? I helped that happen!
Right. Wait, did you say that out loud, or were you saying that like under your breath, like, oh shit, maybe?
I'm saying because after we all dissipated from the crowd, I go back to the tavern and I'm like drinking my shot over here, saying,
And you're like, oh
myself.
shit, I might have some like responsibility for this.
Alright,
Okay.
either way, you are still in the clearing. A few people have
Okay.
probably like filtered out. It's a little bit less crowded. Like, I feel like maybe like a tenth of the people there are like, I don't give a shit, whatever. I don't have any kids. This doesn't impact me. You know, just typical like, I don't know. Either way, so where were we? Okay, yes, there's the bounty. It is a bounty of 100,000 gold coins, which will buy you very much. It's probably not like as
Probably
big of a deal
nothing
to
in
you
there.
since like you're royal.
But I'll do it for the children.
And
over here trying to get the clout.
That fucking.
I have accidentally
I
put some
mean,
glitter on this table.
there are multiple reasons.
Yeah, it's a very fantastic table.
So within the crowd, you see just a person step forward within the crowd. You notice anybody who's looking notices a small halfling girl with a cloak wrapped with a simple rope around the waist, a little beanie on her head with wavy brown hair, and a like a scarf wrapped around her mouth and nose, coughing slightly, and a giant box about twice her size slung on her back.
Wow. Damn.
She looks around timidly, hearing this commotion about the witch. So I'm looking around. Do I see any like officials or anything?
There's probably like one or two, most likely half elves or elves standing towards the front, with their arms behind their backs. They look like they're wearing pretty well-tailored clothes, and they're just kind of like standing around looking, but it doesn't really look like there's any like police officers. Well, not really police. This is like medieval, like Europe. They don't have fucking police.
They have law.
So are they guards or are they prisoners?
They're probably just like officials from the town who are just standing around, probably since this is a very official bounty. They were probably one of the few people who decided to have the meeting in the first place.
Okay.
This is probably people's taxes that are paying for this.
Okay.
I mean, if you're gonna pay taxes for something, it might as well be killing the witch that's stealing everyone's children.
All right. So after stepping forward and seeing these guards, I approach them and go, hey, I have some questions about this bounty. So I remember walking through, or at least hearing about that the bounty is like 100,000 gold pieces. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, of course it is.
If you have any other questions, you're free to ask the gnome,
Ah.
who I have not given a name to.
Oh, man,
His name is Mayor Gnome.
Mayor Gnome.
He's not really okay. So the
Mayor Gnome.
the gnome's not really mayor. He's just kind of like an official who's like probably batshit crazy. Where like one of those like eccentric old people where like he starts talking to people and are like, ugh, this guy.
He likes to be called mayor. It makes him feel important.
Okay, I
It
guess
makes him
so.
feel big.
So then I nod to the official, and I go over and speak up. Excuse me, gnome fellow. Do you mind stepping aside off the pedestal for a moment? I may be able to help.
Well, sure. And then he just falls off.
Oh my god.
He's like tries to like have you ever seen a small dog try to get off the couch?
Yeah.
So like he like tries to jump down, but he like kind of like stumbles. Like he doesn't land on his face, but he's down there now.
Okay.
And you're like probably at about the same height.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm not really from these lands. I'm actually from a forest a little further north, and I was hearing rumors that a witch was stealing kids. Now, I'm not necessarily here to get the children back, but I am interested in what the witch has knowledge-wise.
Well, you know the witch.
Interesting.
I do not know the witch.
Well, there's a little witch out in the woods, and she's stealing children. I don't know what her problem is, but we think that, well, you know, the children go missing, and, you know, there's a witch out in the woods, so we think maybe the witch
Okay.
Where is this witch located?
in the woods.
In the woods.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Find out.
Okay. In the woods, north, south, east, or west of the city.
You know, it's woods time.
Okay.
I happen to know where that hut might be.
Oh.
So.
Well, yeah, you know,
Watching this happen, like,
Baba Yaga, you know how it is, you know, it's got those little
Right,
chicken legs,
okay.
you know,
Oh,
the
wait.
wanders around, you know,
Okay.
Baba Yaga, well, we don't actually know if the witches has chicken legs, but, you know, there's, Johnny from, the tavern, you know, he's there every night, he's always drinking, but every once in a while, he'll come back and he'll be like, oh, I saw chicken legs out in the woods, and we're like, oh, well, I heard a thing or two about a big hut with chicken legs, so like in a fairy tale once, maybe the
turned my
witch...
back. And started
All right. I got it.
Shouting back at you. He's like, Baba Yaga out in the woods stealing children.
And
All right.
I just yell out, okay.
Take those gold coins.
All right. I got some. Oh my god.
Okay. Does anybody here know where this witch's hut is located? If you're able to guide me to her, I'm willing to split the bounty equally.
Alright, so like, do one of us step up
Hang
now?
on. There's probably like an NPC nearby who's like, well, I heard that there's a witch's hut out in the woods, got chicken legs, so we call it Baba Yaga, you know? I mean, that's what the gnome says, and we trust Mayor Gnome. He's, you know, he's not a mayor, but, you know,
If
he likes to feel
anybody
important.
wants to be serious about this, I'll be at the Moon Hut Tavern, and I just start walking towards the tavern.
Thank you for naming the tavern for me.
The Moon Hut Tavern, there we go.
At this point, Marcy's just standing in the front of the crowd, like she was watching the gnome like go off, and she's just.
At this point, the crowd has dispersed, and you guys are the only people left.
Oh, so introduction time.
Yes.
Okay, I got some ideas. Oh, I'm going up now. All right.
There you go.
I mean, I thought she was talking.
Yeah, she's like
Yeah.
This is one nutty gnome.
Well, I heard that. I'm not deaf yet. You know, I'm a little gnome. I got big ears. I can hear things. You can't call me nutty. I don't even like nuts. I got peanut
Oh my god.
As a little bit of advice to everyone still standing here, don't talk to him. Just walk away.
Alright.
Well, hey, I love talking to people. And I think at this point, like, one of the officials just kind of, like, nudges his shoulder. And he's
Starts dragging him away by
he's
his
like,
beard.
come on, we need to go back to the nursing home.
Okay. Oh wait, actually, you know, maybe that's how my character could be introduced. Cause my character was drunk, so he gets woken up by all the noise, and he's like, and I'm just like, you see a shadowy.
Where were you drunk at the street?
No, I literally.
No, I'm like,
as I'm
yeah, sure.
As I'm heading back to the tavern, I look over and I see this really well-dressed tiefling fellow that is just covered in his own sick in the gutter.
And I feel like I should mention that in this general area, tieflings are not common. You'd likely be the only one in the crowd since
Except
tieflings...
for me.
Oh well,
Oh,
once.
and you!
Oh,
Usually
she's
they're
my
supposed
friend.
to be very rare. Usually you'll have one or two settlements that have a lot of tieflings, and other than that, I think the official page for them says that a lot of the times people don't trust them, since they're demons. But since you're nobility, that doesn't apply to you.
Yeah. But But like, here's my story. There's actually a reason why I was drunk here, because I was actually also on my way to find out where the witch was, but because of my past trauma and my terrible backstory about dead kids, because when I was a kid, I saw
get
someone
kidnapped by a witch in the woods.
Yeah, sure. That happened to me, and then I saw some people die, and now I'm like, well, she has to die, but I'm also traumatized, so I'm like, maybe if I drink, it'll help me feel better. But then I drank so much that I passed out.
As the DM, I would like to step in and say that I'm not really sure if both of you should know too much about the witch, since
Yeah, I don't know.
If you know anything about her, then I feel like for you personally, okay, hang on. Let me just set some rules for the two of you. I'll start with you. So the witch's hut, she is an actual Baba Yaga. So her hut does move.
Christ.
So while you would know the general area that she's in,
I wouldn't know her exact.
Yeah. There's this thing called metagaming as well. I'm just going to quickly explain this.
Yeah.
There's this thing about metagaming as well that you guys can keep talking. I'll just explain
Oh,
something.
I was going to talk to him next, but I'll wait for this.
No. Okay.
Oh,
so, yeah.
So just real quick, so I would like to add the limitation that while I will allow you to have been a victim of this witch, I was going to be
it could be another
it's a different witch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could be another witch. I didn't specify it.
Yeah, or if it's the same witch, then because it is a childhood memory and one that is very traumatic, you likely would not be able to. You would have probably repressed a lot of it. You wouldn't really remember it very well.
That's what the drinking's for.
Yeah, the alcohol does not help. All right, metagaming. Let's go.
Yeah, so basically what metagaming can be summed up as knowledge that you know that your character wouldn't know.
Okay.
So as long as you maintain and ask yourself, would my character know this? It'll help you role play the character more accurately.
Because it wouldn't make sense for me to know something if I wasn't there for it.
For example, my character currently does not know that her character knows about this witch more. I'm going to a tavern right now.
Right.
Looking for information.
And I don't know if it's the same witch or whatever.
And I'm the only one who happens to know that this is a legitimate Baba Yaga, so her hut moves. Great! Oh, and I am doing a southern accent for my character, because I rarely ever get to use my Georgia voice. So,
hang on. Now, is the southern accent something that she puts on? Or should I have every single person in this town, be kind of southern?
Right, this is their hometown.
I can't do accents well.
Yeah.
I moved here to the town.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
Okay, there you
from
go.
somewhere else moving here.
Gotcha.
All right.
I'm just kind of following the halfling kind of secretively, wondering what's going on, but willing to help if there's such a large bounty.
And you do notice as you're following this halfling, which through the perspective, the box is actually quite larger than.
So you just see a moving box?
But you do see her kick a stone in frustration.
Yeah, there's a very hard to miss halfling, so I'm like, that's a cool box.
Right, so you're heading towards the tavern, right?
Yes.
You're heading towards the tavern, you're following her.
Yeah.
Are both of you heading towards the tavern?
Sure.
All right.
I'm bad at storytelling, so I'll just go with whatever you.
There it is.
So all of you wind up meeting at the tavern.
Yep. So
yeah.
I walk into the door and I kind of am pushing because it's a heavy oak door and I'm just a halfling girl with a giant box on my back.
You could come up and just turn around and just push your giant box backwards
I use the
Take me, box.
So I push the door open with my box and I walk over to one of the tables and I place my box on the ground. It takes me 30 seconds because I have to adjust it correctly. Then I hop up on a stool and I sit there and I just look over and at the tavern keep. It goes, "Hey, can I have a small pint of ale?
I
I'm
kind of
hoping
want to make a smart remark because you're ambling.
You want that half sized?
That's exactly what I was about to say.
That's probably for the best. I need to not be. I need to stay sober for my investigation.
He passes you like a little shot glass
Speak
full
for
of
yourself.
ale.
Thank you. Thank you. How much do I owe you?
Half off for you.
Go.
How much do I owe you?
1 gold piece.
Half off for you. Wait a minute, that didn't answer my question.
Right.
Would you happen to be interested in healing herbs?
Oh,
Well,
goodness.
I don't really feel bad, right? I feel like I completely switched this guy's voice, but
It's like,
I
yeah.
don't really feel sick right now. But how much are the herbs? Can I sell them?
You can sell them, and I believe they'll cover the cost of this ale because I don't have the 1 gold.
Alright, what kind of herbs are these?
So these are gonna be stinging nettles, but don't worry, I've already processed them so that way you can put them in a nice little potion pot and create a nice brew to clear out your nose passages. And
That sounds like it'll sting me.
No, don't worry, I've processed them perfectly fine. If you just give me 1 moment, I need to just go into my laboratory.
Do
and you
I
see
have
me
a coin?
hop.
Hold on, I'm finna bring some like realness into this.
Oh,
Only
word.
after she's already in the box.
Yep. So yeah, I hop off the stool and quickly open up this box, and I mess with a couple of latches and locks, and I open it up, and it's kind of like those boxes we have downstairs. Where we go. And as I go through, there's a couple of little shelves here and there, and I'm pulling through, trying to find the right ones, and I find a small roll of paper with some of these nettles in them. I close it up and I go, "Oh, here you go, sir. I'm sorry I didn't have the gold piece, but thank you for the ale."
Is this a cigarette?
Oh no!
Right. He's rolling it up.
You want to unwrap it first and put it in a pot of it's like a tea.
Before you
Alright,
smoke it.
I've drunk tea before.
Alright, no problem.
I mostly drink alcohol though, because I'm a
Well-
tavern keep.
Yep. So
While
I
this is happening, I'm not sure if you're still like drunk out on the street, but I'm
Oh no, that woke me up, so I'm up now.
Yeah, I think everyone's in the tavern right now.
Yeah, we're in the
okay.
tavern.
Because I was gonna say, I was gonna go investigate the tiefling that's drunk on the street.
Oh, wait, that actually sounds fun. You could do that. Go ahead.
Do you want to roll an investigation check?
Sure.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so
Oh yeah, long periods of silence.
Yeah, so as she's looking up her stats, I'm starting to close the door on my box, and I lock it up, and I just quickly look around and make sure no one's giving me any like curious looks, and I just begin sipping and waiting for anybody to come up and inquire about the witch and the bounty.
Alright.
Okay.
so I rolled a 16 plus 1 is 17.
You notice that he has like a few pieces of trash stuck to him.
Apparently.
Like there's probably like a piece of like gum or something stuck to like your pants.
Probably.
Can I check his pockets? Because he's like wearing
Oh my
a little-
god, it's gonna try and rob me.
Awake.
I don't care. Roll.
Oh my.
Roll for initiative.
I will give you disadvantage on this,
because he is
and you will be allowed to react to this however you want if she does not roll a natural 20.
Okay.
I rolled a 10.
Alright, you have disadvantage, roll again.
Oh no.
11.
That's cocked.
11.
Alright, you start like reaching for his pockets, and he's awake, and he's conscious, and he sees you doing this. And,
Yeah.
and like maybe it kind of looks like you're just kind of like reaching for his ass or something.
He
It's
should be
definitely kind of
hungover.
weird. It's actually very weird.
Okay,
How do
so
you
this is how I'm gonna react. I'm gonna be like, get the hell away from me, and
Hey, how you
just backing
doing?
around, and then I just probably throw some chains at you to get you away from me. It's like, here, get away from me.
Did you just pay her to leave?
Yeah, just throw the cash at you to get away.
Successfully
Like, get away from me.
That's great.
How much change did I pick up?
Let's say like maybe 5 silver pieces.
Neat. I
Yeah.
can add that to my inventory.
Oh god, what's the conversion rate of like silver to gold?
I believe it's 10 silver to 1 gold.
So
Alright, cool.
dimes versus $1.
Yeah, and
Okay.
A gold is $1 and silver is a dime.
Makes sense.
platinum's $10.
Boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I shit on company time.
I like that.
I
That's
enjoy
great.
that.
All right.
I'll take a swig to that.
So, are you heading back into the tavern?
Yeah, we're going to the tavern
She's like
now.
scuttling around like
Yeah,
a
so
roach,
while
picking
she's
it up, like,
while she's like busy distracted with the cash, I just run into the tavern now.
like it's so fun.
Right? Then I just like run into the tavern.
I happen to be friends with the scuttling rogue outside, so I walk over to the tavern door behind after the aristocrat over here.
No, actually, hang on. Do you want to finish that first, actually? Since this is something for Cassidy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, you're good, right?
Yeah, I picked up all my chain.
Alright. No, I meant like your kill alignment.
Yeah, I'm chaotic good.
Alright, so, how do you want to play that, since you are stealing from people, but you're also good about it? Like, is your thing that...
somebody that
Should
needs
donate
Yeah,
to
are
the
you like a
tavern.
Robin Hood figure, or like do you
Yeah,
only
are you
steal
a
from
Robin
rich
Hood
people?
figure?
Well, my thing is I never run the same con twice, so I guess I can't try that again. So I guess.
Alright, so what is the good aspect of it?
Right, yeah,
Giving
what's the-
it to your
right.
friend for something that she needs. Or...
Okay, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, or like donating it to the poor. Like
Yeah.
maybe you pick up all this change and then you see a homeless person on the street and you just
bring-
start like
Bring money back.
Get right.
character.
oh, I love that. Legolas vibes.
Yeah, right.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, I like that. That's pretty good.
The core.
I mean, it's pretty well done.
Oh, yeah. Just all together.
Sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah.
I just wanted to like make some character building stuff clear. Do you want to continue with that?
Yes.
Alright, thank
Okay.
you.
I notice as the door closes behind the. What are you again?
I'm a tiefling. Yeah, I know, the drunk tiefling.
Now he is a drunk tiefling. He also looks super fancy, so you're kind of like, oh, yeah, I trust this guy.
Yeah, I know better. I know enough to see the drunk tiefling stumble into the tavern, and I notice slightly outside the door happens to be another tiefling that just finished picking up glitter bombs change, I guess. And I sort of like, which way does this tavern door open?
Oh, it opens inward.
Does it open both
It
ways?
is a push door.
Okay.
So like if I'm inside, I would push to go out.
Yeah.
Okay, so I sort of just
So you, okay.
Hang on. Wait, so because she pushed the door to get in,
he
Wait.
pushed the door to
Or
get
it's like
in.
saloon
I would
doors.
pull.
Yeah, I'm
Or is it like
yeah, I'm-
saloon doors? Okay.
you know what? Yeah, that's easier
This
than figuring
saloon-
this out.
Screw it, yeah, saloon door, I guess.
door is.
So I walk over to the saloon doors and peek over to see another tiefling sneaking about. And I casually gently open the doors kind of in a whack sort of manner.
Gracefully.
I gracefully open the doors by Sparta kicking them.
Holy shit!
I can't hold on.
Hey, look, is this town always that lively?
Well, yeah, the tavern's main point of focus here. Besides all, the business of your business tax, so I guess everyone's always kind of drunk.
Okay.
What? Hold on, I have to.
You want your herbs back?
I have to.
Like having second thoughts.
I have to like hold on. I'm like adjusting my brain for Southern accent.
Oh, okay.
Recalculating.
Recalculating. Like a GPS.
I have to. Stop looking at me. It makes me feel shy.
Okay, I guess.
Avert thine eyes.
Avert thine eyes.
Darling, what are you doing over there on the ground?
You scared the shit out of me.
Are you pickpocketing again?
You know I never do the same con twice, but yes.
How many times do I have to tell you to stop that?
Make sure you
Come
should
on
give her
in here and get a
accuse.
drink.
Tell her to throw it at you.
As I casually walk back in, slightly dragging the rogue with me.
She's got me by the horns, and I'm just like, ow.
Grabbing the bull by the horn.
Grabbing the bull by the horn.
And I casually lean over to my friend, and I'm like, it's gonna take me so long to get into the southern drawl. So you heard about the missing children. I'm pretty sure that's why you're in town.
I guess.
Oh, don't give me that. Don't I guess me.
Oh my god.
Fuck. I lost what I was about to say as I heard.
I stand up and kind of like gently pry myself from her hand.
Sorry about that.
Halfling, sorry about that.
Sorry about that.
I pull up a stool and sit down at the bar, and I ask the tavern for, does whiskey exist in this universe?
Do you want to roll to see if whiskey exists?
Sure.
Roll a d20. If it's above 10, then yes. If it's below 10, no.
There it is.
Called, like, some weird word.
It's gonna be called, like, Dragon's Breath or some dumb shit.
Yep.
Okay, then whiskey is now Dragon's Breath.
Barrel brew.
Dragon whiskers.
Or what was that beverage we saw at the bar the other day?
It's
the
the brew
gay.
made by Jack
Mount
Daniels.
Oh my god. Whatever.
What are we calling the whiskey?
Something.
The brew of Jacariah Daniels.
Christ.
I look over at the tavern keep and ask for 2 shots of
2 shots of vodka.
2 shots of Daniel Jackarels.
We don't have much
I
left.
think
It's
we
cool
might
if I
have to go
cut
to
it with some
class
Dr.
soon.
Pepper.
I have an alarm on my phone.
Sure, darling, do whatever.
Alright, yeah,
I
he cuts that
deserve
shit
it.
with Dr. Pepper. And you just get this, like, horrible cocktail of whiskey and Dr. Pepper.
Someday this town gots to get better booze.
Oh my, and look, oh my
Slams
god.
cup on table.
It gets everywhere.
So I lean closer to
I discreetly
Discreetly.
and gently push the little shot glass over to the other side of the bar.
Are you a fucking cat? Yes!
Damn it!
Wait, you're. Oh my god, hang on. No. Let me just take a moment to process this. You're a cat girl tiefling.
Okay, girl. Okay then. Okay. What?
That
No,
was
are
my
you spiritually
drink.
channeling a cat girl here? Alright, that's everything I need to know. Continue.
Oh my.
That was one.
But so that it falls
I'm drawing you.
over on the other side where the barkeep is standing.
It lands on the barkeep's fucking shoe. And he's like, hey now, that's some perfectly good Jacariah Daniels. Yeah, I've been doing this.
First off,
You
Tavern
mixed
Keith, that was not
Dr.
good
Pepper into it
Jacariah
with
Daniels.
his
Holy shit,
And
was it?
secondly, that was my drink.
Come
Well, that
on.
was perfectly good. Like, you advocate Dr. Pepper, it's a perfectly good beverage. Just drink it up.
Everybody knows you don't mix Dr. Pepper with Jacariah Daniels. You mix Coke, but not like you have any class.
Hey.
Well, I can. I did that right now.
Dr. Pepper and Coke aren't the same thing. But anyway.
Dr. Pepper's Coke plus cherry flavor.
No,
There you
it's not.
go.
They taste
Exactly.
nothing alike. Sorry,
That's
the
because they-
Coca-Cola whore in me is coming out.
That's because they took the Coke out of the
Sorry,
Coca-Cola.
did you just put yourself a core?
I did. I look. Anyway, I lean over, and well, I don't really lean over because I say this fairly like moderate voice. So I happen to have a little information on the whereabouts of where the witch's hut might be, and I was wondering,
Then I
since
started
you've
eavesdropping.
rolled in town,
Agreed.
since you've rolled in town, you might wanna come with me. Bounty's pretty large.
So I've heard.
I think it's, 100,000 gold? That'd be good money for the tavern. Maybe fix the place up a bit.
What's wrong with the
Some new
tavern?
booze.
Nothing's wrong with your tavern keep.
I like the Southern Belle thing you got going on.
Yeah.
Sitting across the bar, do I hear this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I keep it to myself.
Well, I was eavesdropping too. 'Cause as soon as I heard the witch, I was like,
I'm also
whoop.
eavesdropping, but I'm being very discreet about it. Like,
Oh, yeah,
people think
definitely.
that I'm eavesdropping.
I'm pretending that
they were
I'm.
like nosy bitches.
I'm pretending to still drink though, so they ain't gonna suspicious.
I hear the last place of the hut was slightly north of here in the woods. Information's maybe a few weeks old.
Hold up. Do you want to roll
I wanna
for
roll.
I guess that would be history check. Well, it's not really distant history. What kind of check would that be? Like, it wouldn't be investigation because it's something you already know.
Insight?
It might be insight.
Yeah. All right.
I love how it just goes all
12.
over there.
All right. So, you have. Woo. So this.
You can borrow this.
like roll dice on. So
I like rolling the dice so they roll away.
They have like little like things that you like clip the sides of, and then you basically roll it in the.
Or like you can buy these dice towers where like it has an opening in the top and an opening in the bottom, and like you put it in and you can watch it like roll down all the stairs and then to the bottom. It's very cool. All right. Anyways, so for prior information you have on this hut, you probably have already had a feeling that a bounty would be put on it soon. Since more and more children have been going missing, so you have most likely been inquiring about other things. And you've most likely heard from other people that there's rumors that the hut is moving to the north. So it is getting farther and farther away from the town, but in general it kind of circles, so it never gets too far away. But every single time anyone has gotten too close to the hut, it usually changes direction. So this is your prior knowledge.
Okay then.
You just want to like be like, I say all of that.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna say it in my own way. So, since I've been looking into the hut, apparently the hut might be moving north, not in, I guess, will be moving north soon. However, if you get close to the hut, the damn thing moves. But I guess with the right amount of luck, we could catch up to it. I mean, bounty's gotten pretty large, so worth the pickings.
All right. Also, just a heads up, you guys both have to leave in around 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
So I heard something about Baba Yaga. Does that mean we can like take out the legs?
Can't. Wait, is that the
like,
weakness?
falls on the ground.
She misses leg day.
She's got chicken legs.
Yeah.
Chicken wing legs.
Chicken wing
Give me
legs.
them kneecaps.
Oh my god! Give me them kneecaps.
Just chuck a crowbar.
We could
inside
fill
of
so
him.
many buckets with this thing.
Oh yeah. Weak ass ankles.
I guess I did what I was saying there.
All right.
So, yeah. So overhearing that conversation, I sit down and start finishing up my drink, and I look over at the tiefling girl and at the individuals across the bar.
What race are you?
Oh, I'm a high elf.
Okay.
Yep. So I look at the high elf
From the south, I guess.
Yep. So I look at the high elf and the tiefling girl across the bar, and as I sit there and swirl the rest of my drink, I decide to myself, I could go with these people, or I can wait here for a better group.
That's great. I love that mindset.
But for now, when they leave, I'll just trail them and stay in the back, see if they need help, see if they die, and maybe, just maybe, I don't know. I can't really take their stuff. That's not right.
Illegal.
But for now, I'll wait till they leave, and then I'll just trail them from behind.
Did you say that out loud or in your head?
I'm whispering.
I subsequently think of a very similar idea. I want to see if this is the same witch from my childhood.
Right, and what is our
Kelsey
other
kinda
high elf
wants to get
thinking?
revenge.
Basically the same.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I'm waiting for somebody to
talking to
approach.
you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, maybe that
You're
too.
waiting for someone to approach you. I was immediately
I'll probably
gonna
get over
feel-
something like
Yep,
that
and
though.
on that, I'll follow them if they decide to go, and if not, I'll be at the bar waiting.
All right.
Alrighty then. Yep.
Cool.
Okay.
All right, let's call it.
Yeah,
Here are
let's
your dates.
call
Thank
it.
you for letting
I
me
thought you guys
know.
were gonna keep going.
Nah, I don't know. I feel like personally, like,
Valentine's Day, we gotta.
yeah, I don't know. It feels
I
like
gotta go
I
get
have
some.
none to get.
there's no encounters planned. So it wouldn't really be much else. What I was planning for the rest of the session was maybe having everyone get together and put out a plan of action, but that's not really something worth doing if like 2/5 of the party is gone. So also I feel like this is just kind of a good place to call it.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah,
the best.
yeah.
And yeah, also like I don't know, it just feels weird like playing a session when like some of the players are gone. Like